Okay, let's be real. Is it fair to say that 2021 hasn't been giving what it was supposed to give? Because I feel like a lot of people would say, heck yeah, it's definitely not giving what it was supposed to give. This is not what I signed up for, okay? But I have a question for you. Through the midst of 2021 not necessarily being what you had anticipated it was going to be, I need to know, how are you honoring yourself? Because through this time, with things how they have been, it is still extremely, extremely important to take time for yourself, to honor yourself, to love on yourself. And that's exactly what we are going to be getting into. So continue to listen and tune in to this episode of the Champagne Diamonds podcast. Welcome to the Champagne Diamonds podcast. I am your host, Nadine Russell, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. This podcast was created for queens, women who are ready to step into their power, women who are looking towards their vision and embracing the journey along the way. Women who are ready to be unapologetic about being their authentic selves. If this is you, keep listening. Hey Queen, what is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of the Champagne Diamonds podcast. I am your host, Nadine Russell, and I am very, very excited and grateful that you decided to come through and vibe with me today. So, as I stated in the intro, we are talking about 2021. And a lot of us had really high hopes for 2021. And you know, this kind of ties into something I'm going to touch on near the end. And it's what I was thinking is so important at this point in time that we need to do. And I'm going to get into that at the end. But the question that I need you to ask yourself is, how am I honoring myself? The question that I am asking you today is, Queen, how are you honoring yourself? And I'm going to share why I'm asking this question. Because I know for myself, since this year has started, I had a lot of high hopes. I had a really big vision and a lot of things that I wanted to get done. And the energy of 2021 has not necessarily been the easiest energy. I've been feeling a little bit tired. I've been feeling a little bit stressed. I've been feeling a little bit restricted. And through this whole year so far, I have still remained hopeful. I have remained thankful. And I have decided to honor myself by giving myself that time and that space that I need to feel all my feels and to acknowledge that it's okay to feel those feels. Not only have I been taking this time to be gentle with myself and give myself time and space to explore the emotions that are coming up, because a lot of these emotions are not emotions that I feel like I truly understand. They're emotions that are coming up where I'm like, where is this coming from? And with the way things have been from last year into this year, with a lot of people not necessarily being able to do the things that they had hoped and dreamed and wished that they would be able to do this year, it can sometimes be discouraging. And it can be very easy to get frustrated and to want to throw in the towel and to feel like, why am I even trying? Like, what is the point? When it seems like you are faced with obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and where you want to dream and where you want to step out on faith, feels like you really can. It feels like you have to hold yourself back because you are realizing that there are a lot of unknowns. And that is one of the biggest fears that we face as human beings, is the fear of the unknown. I know that that's a fear that I've struggled with, a fear that sometimes I continue to struggle with. Like, what is going to happen? What is next? Because these are the fears that keep us stuck. But they're also the fears that if we're willing to face them, if we're willing to dig deep into them, that can give us so much clarity about what is happening and where we need to let go and what we need to change and where we need to put our focus. But all of that mental transformation, that mindset shift that needs to happen for us to get from point A to point B is not an overnight thing. And the process is very rarely an easy process. We deal day to day with different circumstances as human beings. We have work stress, we have business stress, we have family stress, we have relationship stress, we have social media stress. We have all these things that we're dealing with on top of everything that's happening globally around us. And those things affect us greatly because if you have been following me for a while on any of my other platforms, especially on Instagram, you'll know that I talk about us all being connected. We are all connected. So when things happen that affect other people, we may not recognize it in that moment, but it does affect us all. We are a collective. So with that being said, when we are in this day and age of looking and seeing so many things happening around us that we feel like we have absolutely no control over, it is so easy to feel discouraged. It is so easy to feel helpless. It is so easy to just wonder, how can I contribute? Or wonder if things will ever change. Or wonder, is it even worth it? There's a lot of different thoughts that go through our minds, and human beings are naturally negative people. Human beings are naturally wired to be negative. But it is up to us to realize that we can make that shift. We can make that change at any time in our life to reprogram those thought processes, to shift our mindset, to choose a better way. And it's not easy. As I said earlier, it's not an overnight process. It's a process of understanding who we are, where we are, what we're feeling, what we want, what we don't want. It's a culmination of all these things. And a lot of times we are just in this busy mode of doing things and trying to get places. And a lot of times we're in this busy mode around things that aren't truly important, things that don't really make a change in our lives. We're just busy doing a whole bunch of stuff just for the sake of doing stuff. I know I have been in busy mode many, many, many times before. And as a part of honoring myself, I am learning to take a step back. I am learning to assess more. I am learning to go deeper. That is how I am choosing to honor myself, by giving myself grace, by choosing to dig deeper into these emotions, dig deeper into what's happening internally inside of me. Because one thing that I have come to realize is that everything that we see on the outside is a representation of what's happening within us. So in this time, I am learning to honor myself by truly diving deeper to explore the inner self and giving myself grace and giving myself time. Another way that I'm learning to honor myself is to trust myself more, to trust that intuition, that God-given intuition that has been placed within me, that is within all of us, It's there waiting for us to just tap into. The way that I'm honoring myself is deciding to spend more time in my creativity and spending more time doing the things that are going to push the needle forward on building my dreams, on making my vision a reality. Those are just some of the ways that I have decided to honor myself in this season, in this time. And as I am choosing to honor myself in those ways, certain things have had to fall by the wayside. Certain bad habits, certain things that I've just been doing just for the sake of doing it. I've had to take a reassessment of my life and look to see what is happening and how I can move myself forward, and where am I wasting time, and what is a crutch in my life, and really getting super clear and feeling the feels and being a human being, not a human doing, but a human being, which I've touched on before in some previous lives on Instagram. And it is so, so, so important that we all create a formula for ourselves of what feels good to us in this time, in this moment. What is it that we can do to honor ourselves, truly tap in to what we need? When I'm asking you, how are you honoring yourself in this time? What I'm really asking you is, what is your self-care right now? What does your self-care look like? That is what I'm asking you. When I'm asking you, how are you honoring yourself? What I'm really asking you is, how are you loving yourself? How are you connecting with yourself? How are you spending time in your own company? How are you elevating yourself? How are you enriching yourself? How are you growing yourself? How are you keeping yourself full and satisfied, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? When I ask you, how are you honoring yourself? It's, how are you showing up for yourself? How are you making those decisions in your life that are going to change the trajectory of your life going forward? How are you choosing to live your life now so you can have everything that you have envisioned for yourself in the future? I really, really want to encourage you that if you haven't spent any time thinking about this and asking yourself how you are filling up yourself internally, doing that internal work, that shadow work, doing that internal adjustment, that mindset work. How are you dedicating that time to yourself to improve yourself? And not to improve yourself for somebody else's benefit, but to improve yourself for you, to improve yourself for what you want to do, where you need to go, to fulfill the purpose that you have been given. What is your sacred time? Are you making sacred time? Even if that's just 5 minutes of breath work in the morning, even if that's just 5 minutes of stillness in the afternoon on your lunch break, even if that's just 5 minutes of gratitude before you go to your bed, how are you honoring yourself? Because right now, we really need to tap in to an inner strength. There's a lot of things happening right now. And it is so important for us to start tapping into our inner strength. Finding that sacred time with ourselves, to honor ourselves, to love ourselves, to pour into ourselves. So Queen, let me know. Tell me, Queen, how are you honoring yourself? One of the best ways that I know to honor myself and what I'm actually committing myself to, another way that I'm honoring myself, because as I've shared with you in this episode, there are so many different ways that we can honor ourselves. It's not just one way. There's tons of different ways we can honor ourselves. And we can honor ourselves in multiple ways at one time. We can take a whole day, we can take a week, we can take a month doing various activities. It doesn't have to be just one thing. But I really want you to start paying attention and acknowledging when, where, and how are you honoring yourself, building up that strength within yourself. And one of the greatest ways that I know how to do this is to get clear on your vision. Get laser clear on your vision. 2021 is almost halfway done. June is right around the corner. We are halfway through 2021. And I know a lot of people might be discouraged. They'll look back and they'll say, oh my goodness, this is where we are. 6 months into the year, I've not made any progress. You know, some people have made tremendous progress. Some people have made smaller steps, but that is not to be discounted because every step counts. And for those that feel like they haven't made any progress, they might be feeling like they want to throw in the towel. They might be feeling like, what is the point? I might as well stop. I might as well give up. But you still have 6 whole months. And when you create a vision, when you step into a vision, you don't necessarily have to wait until the beginning of the year to step into a vision. You can make the decision at any time to change your vision, to refine your vision, to reset your vision. So if you're not sure how you should start honoring yourself, if you're not sure how you're honoring yourself, if you even are honoring yourself right now, or even if you've been doing tons of things to honor yourself, I really encourage you that if you feel like your vision is not clear, if you feel like you need a reset, this is the perfect time to do that reset. There's a couple weeks left in this year. Maximize these weeks. Start visualizing, start creating here what it is you want to have, where it is you want to be. Craft that vision and step into it. Fully step into it. And I'm challenging you to do this, but I'm also challenging myself to do this. In the next little bit, you guys are going to see me on Instagram sharing how I am preparing my vision. I'm going to be sharing through my stories. I actually created a masterclass at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, talking about vision. There's a workbook, a masterclass. It's available in courses on my website right now at www.enticethebrand.com if that is something that you want to tap into, because I'm about that. I'm trying to think if I want to invite some people on with me to join me in the next couple of weeks preparing our vision, because it is so important. It is so important, and it is one of the best ways that we can honor ourselves, especially right now in this time. So I just want to encourage you. Pay attention to how you are honoring yourself. Make time to honor yourself if you're not already doing it, because it will make a world of difference in your life. As always, definitely feel free to tap in with me at the Queen Class. It's thequeenclass.enticethebrand.com, and the links will be available. Visit me over at my website, enticethebrand.com. Reach out to me on Instagram at enticethebrand.com, and let's connect. Let's connect, because I just really want to support women to step into their power, to step into their truth, to step into their authentic self, and to know that they are supported on this journey, because I know how it feels to be alone in this journey, and it is not a great feeling. And that is why I created the Queen Class, for women to come together to help elevate each other, to be around a tribe of like-minded individuals. If you are a part of the Queen Class VIP Queendom, you already have 100% free access to this Vision Masterclass. It is inside the portal, so tap into that. But that's all I got for you guys this episode. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. And don't forget to honor yourself, Queen, because you deserve it. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Champagne Diamonds. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.